Welcome back. After 90 degrees and beyond the dream, it was a bit quiet from our side, but as we all know, there was the little pandemic. We would like to show you what it takes to drive on the highest level of drifting competition in this world, in this sport. Basically, I need to say the journey with Toyota started a long time ago. In my childhood, on the office desk from my dad, Hans, I always saw his picture in Dijon with his Supra with Toyota Switzerland, and he had the opportunity to test and to drive with this car. Later on, his yellow Toyota Carina for the hill climb races, and then it started to work together with the event center and also the Race Academy 2017. 3 years we did the hill climb Swiss Junior Championship with the Toyota GD86. This is the part where I also met Joshua. Joshua came into this academy. We see a little picture here. Maybe we find some shots when he was competing with all these crazy guys. It was like a very high level because the cars doesn't have a lot of power. We were driving on street tires, and in this year Joshua also started to drifting and we started to do it together. And yeah, let's say one and one came together, Beyond the Dream, the second movie, and then we started to realize, okay, let's go into competitive drifting as a team, and we decided to go to FD 2020. Joshua was able to drive 4 rounds in FD in 2020. I was a bit unlucky because I only have a Swiss passport. That's why I needed to stay home for 2 races. But we started to realize we need a partnership, we need a nice car, because our old cars had a bit of power, but they were not like on the highest level of competition drifting. And that's the point where we sat down in our office and we were like, hey, what's the best car you can build right now? And in this year, or 2019, the Toyota GR Supra came out and everybody was like so stoked, because after the MK4 there was a long time no Supra on the market. Now with the MK5 we have a nice street car, a very fast race car, also in GT4 and all other touring car championships. And we also saw the first projects going on into drifting. To start a partnership with a brand, with a car brand, it's not that easy, because usually you cannot call the dealership and walk in and say, hey, let's do a partnership. So you need to have like a program. You need to have a strategy about marketing, selling, investment, and it's very, very important, you always have a win and win situation. That's where we have our strongest team together, also with Kevo behind the camera, because we draw this little sheet what we would like to do in a partnership with a car manufacturer and what we like to build and where we would like to go in the future. Usually you think about 2-3 years in the front. We really have the opportunity, or had the opportunity, to visit Toyota Switzerland, and they were like, hey, Gazoo Racing, we have a strategy for the following years and we would like to push this with you. And yeah, honestly, the dream has started. For the third time, we were able to renew the contract with Matt Field, Drift Cave Motorsports. Josh and I have been hosted like very well from them. It's not just Matt Field who is helping us in driving, in prep of the cars. It's also the team around him. Let's say Graham. Graham is a specialist in setup, in KW suspension. Jason, a very experienced car mechanic in racing, also in drifting. He is drifting himself as well. And then Jay, our mental coach, or let's say my mental coach. Steve as a spotter. Steve was for, I guess, over 10 years the spotter of Dai Yoshihara. And then he was like, okay, Josh and Eve, I will help you. And so much experience is so nice because Steve knows every track, Steve knows all the games in FD. And yeah, was a big help during this season. Also, we had the chance with our boys to go to Irvingdale. Our garage team, our garage boys, they came together because Josh and I decided to open our own shop, which is the Drift Force Garage. It's right next to our event center. So basically, let's say it's the only garage with the own test track. It's a lot of work, planning about architecture and everything, but then we already started here in this garage to build up a little shop with the boys. And I think you're wondering, who are the boys? Those guys are working so hard behind the scenes. Imagine we had only a couple of weeks to get Josh's GT86 ready for the 2022 season. After that, the new chassis have arrived, our own GR Supra, because the Drift Force Garage is also a car manufacturer now. So let's say the number 33, Joshua's car, will have the VIN number 001. Number 91, my car, will have the VIN number 002. Hopefully a lot of other cars are coming, because also a project from us is to build and to support customer racing, customer cars. Behind the scenes of a driver, it's like you have partnerships to work with. Basically, there are some events, they are a lot of fun. We have been able to go to Sevilla for the presentation of the new GR Supra race, which is with manual transmission, of the new GT86. We have done some nice filming on our own track with a very nice crew. Those spots have been everywhere in social media in Switzerland. Then we were able to go to tire events, suspension events. We had our chassis at the Hostetler Autotechnik Days with the new KW GT4 suspension. And yeah, so basically marketing, building, all this is happening behind the scenes.
Our team made an amazing job in building the GD86 for the FD 2022 season. They made it really good, really competitive. It was a very short time. We struggled with that, for sure. We loaded everything in the container, looked all good, but the container didn't come to the US until after Long Beach, so we couldn't drive Long Beach. That was a big bummer for the whole team. The car arrived about 4 days before Atlanta, so we had to rush to get to Atlanta. We even managed to have a practice day before the event. The car felt amazing, everything went super good. The track wasn't the biggest, so it hadn't had fully 100% load on it. With that knowing, we went very confident into the competition. First lap out, the tie rod broke and the struggle began. We had every single lap we had a broken tie rod. We didn't know what was the real issue. We looked under the car, it seemed everything was good, but it just kept spinning and it just kept breaking. So we made that difficult decision to not compete and to leave the Atlanta competition as it is, to go back to shop to look at the car. And we didn't find anything for several months. Until mid-season, we noticed that internally the steering rod was bent. It was impossible to see from the outside. And we ordered new parts and they didn't arrive until almost at the end of the season. We wanted to drive Irwindale, but we couldn't because we haven't competed in any event, so we couldn't enter the final. Nevertheless, I was still at every event. I was there for Eve. I spotted together with Steve for him. I checked his driving performance, sometimes better, sometimes worse. But we've been there fully for him and we enjoyed every event. It's always awesome to be on the racetrack.
As you all know, the FD Championship is happening in the US, which means there is a time difference. It's a lot of traveling. We have our 100% jobs at home. Most likely we fly in on Thursday, fly out on Sunday, which is the time difference. Sometimes we have some calls with our little fans at home. Kevo's daughter Luna, 9:55 our time. It's like maybe in the evening, somewhere on dinner at home.
Wir sind jetzt im Flugzeug zurück von Seattle. Der nächste Flug wird schon gebucht.
Wird reingebucht!
Keine Zeit zum Erholen. Geht weiter.
Then we have our team at home. We have Mobtech, Adrian, which is over wire support, VLAN support, always there for our engines and ECUs. Back in the US, those boys, Jason, Graham, Steve, everybody is there for us, helping us by side of their jobs. So drifting is not like the competitive racing motorsport. Everybody is just working 100% on the racing side. Most likely all the people have different jobs outside of the racing world, which makes it different, which makes it sometimes hard, but also it's like a valve. So we're working hard at home, then we go out for racing for the weekends, and it's like you can release all your thoughts, you can free your mind of the thoughts, which is also very, very important, because when you are on the start line and you're thinking about, oh, it was a hard week, oh, we have this problem, blah, 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 you need to throw it away. As soon as you close the visor, it's only you, the car, the track, and your performance. So that's most of the time the biggest challenge, but yeah, we're managing it and we're learning every time.
So on the track walk, it's pretty important. We don't just look for corners or zones, we also look for pavement stuff like here. And I mean, this is huge, it's like 3 or 4 centimeters. So, and if we look for maximum grip, we lower the tire pressure pretty hard. And if you have too low tire pressure and you hit something like this, then you will debeat the tire and it will be an incomplete. So I think looking for leaving the zone and going into inside clip 1, sweet spot.
We're good. We're stretching us tight. Hold on. It's coming up.
This picture shows our fantastic Christmas dinner with our employees at the event center. We have 64 employers helping us every day to keep the business running, Josh and I are very, very proud of them. Imagine, sometimes we're sitting in the US in a hotel room, 7 o'clock in the morning. At home it's like 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and it's like a half an hour call or something. You discuss everything and the business is just running. So very, very proud of our team, our administration, our instructors, our cleaning team, just everybody back home, keep the business running. For us, it's also a bit different sometimes, because as you can see over here, we have snow in Switzerland. Sven is cutting the woods back there, me like whatever, like a funny farmer, trying our best. But yeah, it's kind of two different worlds. So you're working like with your hands at home, and then you go to US, 30 degrees, racing a car. It's also a really nice and fun part, because I think it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to live that life, to enjoy that life. But it's like it's sometimes not like you think from the outside. It's a bit more behind. A really fun program started 2 years ago is our Shred Days in Bourbonnais. It's a 3 days program on a wet track. And the reason why we do this is we have a fan base. We have a lot of young people coming into the drifting sport. We have our Drift Academy with the brand new GR 86. And also in this direction we would like to go in the future. It's not just our racing program, the customer program, it's also development of the sport and bring new people into drifting and give them the opportunity to feel the amazing feeling going sideways through a corner.
What happened, bro?
So I was avoiding crashing into Carney because he did like super weird transition, stopped on track. So spun the car and hit the wall backward.
Good job.
Thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you. Oh man. Jay told me keep more speed into zone 3, and that almost shit in my pants. I was so fast coming into 3. I was like, stay off the walls, rattle.
The key to 3 is you want the turtle's head to just get out of your ass.
What's going on here?
Gang, we're about to win.
Looks like party.
Looks like
Party night.
No.
No. Is
packed. It's like a stadium, drift stadium. Crazy. Very, very nice.
Toyota Gazoo Racing Switzerland, Toyota 86. Make some noise for me, fire!
Off-season, the most important part as a racing driver, as a racing team. Josh sitting back there, managing Instagram, writing emails. The meetings behind the closed doors, those are the most important because you need a big budget to drive at the highest level of drifting. You need good partnerships with win-win situations. You need an amazing team behind you, building a GR Supra, working 16 hours a day, all weekend long, the whole winter. You need to put the snow out of your track to get some practice time, back in the car, sitting there, get the seat position. Josh has a different seat than me. I like to sit like this, he likes to sit like this. A lot of work, behind the camera, let's say. And to know more about the future season, which series, how the car looks finished, maybe Future Eve up there has some more informations for you.
Yes, it's a wrap.
Paar Versuche gebraucht, hè? Aber easy.
Thank you guys for watching. This is what it takes.
Yay!
Halfway through the season, on the way to Frankfurt. This scene in a normal Hollywood movie would be with a dramatic music theme behind, and in our movie it's just a halfway statement. Those mornings traveling around is sometimes hard, but also big luck to have those experiences, those travels and everything. And I would like to thank all the people behind, also you, Kil, waking up 2 o'clock in the morning, leaving your wife, your daughter, our families, my girlfriend, all the people behind at home, the mechanics doing the Supra project. It's just the picture is so big and there are so many small pieces. Everybody is giving their best and their maximum support in it. And yeah, I'd like to thank you all, and let's go for the second half of the season.